Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ToAuto A2 compressor. Now, in some previous videos, I had a look at their beefier A3 model, but today we're going to show you all about the A2 model. So you might be wondering, AirShootist, why are you always doing reviews on compressors all the time? I just like them, okay? So with that said, we're going to take a look at this. Let's first see what's in the box. All right, so right off the bat, let's see what you get in the box here. It is a pretty hardcore, heavy-duty box, almost wood-like with how hard it is. You could probably use it as a carrying case for a while. So you've got your power cables. It's going to be the 12-volt cables for running it from a car and the standard PC-style 110-volt cable. You've got your fill whip, which has an integrated oil-water separator. You've got a bunch of replacement filters for that. You got some fuses and some various seals, your burst discs, a dead end plug, and various maintenance O-rings and stuff to keep that compressor running. Very important, you have your manual. Now this is a nice color manual, and as I always say, guys, read your manual. Make sure you know what you're doing with the compressor before you use it. If you don't, you might screw it up and then return it, and you're just basically upping the price for the manufacturer and all the customers downstream if a lot of people do that. So in that vein, I will tell you, when you run your compressor, if you get to a point where it's getting too hot or you need to take a break, make sure you vent that air and then start over again, because if you start up the compressor against air pressure in there, you will damage your compressor. So anyway, moving forward here. So there's the compressor itself. Looks pretty nice, very good fit and finish on it. Got the quality control tag there. And yeah, it's got a digital display for the temp. It's got the auto stop feature there. It's got the fan and compressor button. And we've got the bleed valve, burst disc, and fill nipple. All right, now that you know what it comes with, I was just out in the field doing a little bit of PRS practice with my trusty FX Panthera. And this gun has a 300cc tank that goes to 250 bar. I have shot it down to 150 bar. So we are going to go ahead and use the ToAuto A2 here to fill it up. I'll show you how to use it. We'll see how long it takes. And it is quite humid today, and just regardless, I would always recommend using some sort of oil-water separator. This is a great cheap one that will do the job. I do recommend a larger one for filling larger tanks, but this should be fine for the small tank here. I will leave links for this as well as the compressors and everything in the comments, as I always do. You guys know I don't want you sitting through commercials, so I do not monetize my channel on YouTube. The only monetization is from Amazon links. So thanks in advance for using those links, and let's show you how to use this thing. Before we actually do any filling with this, let's just get you guys familiar with the features and all the layout of the components on this thing. Okay, so number one, here are your power inputs. You've got the orange one is for the 12-volt cables if you're going to run it off your car batteries. And then this is for the wall plug, 120, 110 volt, the US standard. You also have a little protective cover, and that's covering your fuse in case you ever blow a fuse. Moving on to this side, you've got your output. This is where you attach your fill whip. This is a burst disc. You should never need to mess with that unless it blows. And then this is the bleeder valve, and you want to just have that pretty finger tight before you start filling. And when you're done filling, release it. And if you take a break from filling, also release it and then put it back on before you resume filling, because like I said, you will damage the compressor if you start using it against pressure. All right, so then up top, we have the pressure gauge. This has the auto stop in it. I've got it set to around 250 bar. You've got your temp gauge here, and then the all-important operational buttons of the fan and the compressor. Guys, keep in mind, the fan must be on when you start this compressor. Anytime that piston is pumping for the compressor, the fan must be on. It's got to be getting cooled while it's running, okay? So let's plug this thing in. All right, got a nice little beep out of it. And there's my fill whip. I did add the additional oil-water separator. All right, so the fan is running. I've got it all connected to the FX Panthera. I've also got a stopwatch. So we're gonna see how long it takes to get from 150 bar in that tank all the way up to 250, and let's go. All right, the time is a ticking. You can hear it does have a pretty powerful fan in there. It might even be the same fan as the A3, its bigger brother that I've reviewed previously. So we will see how long this thing takes to fill and what temperature it gets up to.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are 3 minutes and 30 seconds into filling, and it looks like I'm getting pretty close to 250 bar. I imagine the auto shutoff will happen soon. And it seems to be just running strong. It's filling pretty fast. I think it's about on par for a lot of the shoebox compressors. There we go. 3 minutes and 55 seconds, and that tank is at 250 bar. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that fan on for quite a while. Now in the manual, it says to not let this exceed 80, and you're seeing that E4, that just means we reached the set point. So one other cool thing about this, if you press and hold the compressor button, you can change it away from the metric system of Celsius to we've been to the moon units in Fahrenheit. Check it out. 19 degrees Celsius, boom, 66 Fahrenheit, which is about the temperature that it is out here right now. So I believe that thing is sufficiently cooled, and we've done our job of filling the Panthera. All right, so after you've reached your fill, you're just gonna wanna vent it, which is done via the bleed screw here. Just turn it to the left. That's gonna vent. And my tank is cooled a little bit, but it is right at about 250 bar. And so yeah, that thing works pretty well. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna do it. I think I gave you a pretty good overview of the compressor, its features, what you get in the box, and even a demo of how to use it and how long it's gonna take to fill a typical 300cc tank. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a great compressor for your money. If it's anything like this one, the ToAuto A3, this thing is the GOAT. I have filled so many tanks and put so much time on this. I have about 40 hours on this with one little maintenance rebuild that I did, which it wasn't even broken down or anything. I just took it apart and did a maintenance video on that. You can check that out if you search through my other videos. But yeah, if it's anything like this guy, it'll be a stellar compressor for your money. So a little less costly than the A3, but it seemed to have the same powerful fans. As I look through the grates here, I see the componentry looks very high quality, just like the componentry inside the A3. So you've got the auto stop, you've got a temperature gauge that can go from Celsius to Fahrenheit at the press of a button, which is pretty cool. And yeah, overall, I think you're getting a great value for this. So I will leave links for the A2 compressor, the A3 compressor, both of those oil water separators that I mentioned, which are critical. Definitely pick those up. But I'll leave that all in the form of Amazon links in the comments and description below. Those help the channel, so thank you in advance for using them. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I love doing compressor reviews, so expect a couple more on my channel, but I already have quite a few different reviews for some different vendors of compressors on the channel already. So check those out and be informed in your purchasing decisions. Thanks, guys. Peace.